And that's the recording started.
Okay, thank you. So welcome back to the Licensing Board meeting. We are at item 7, which is a grant of repeated occasional licence. It's a hearing. The Steading Home Farm, Kincawsey, Mary Cooter, Aberdeen. And the officer taking the report is Fiona Stewart.
Can we check that Mr. Stolte is in the meeting, please?
Mr. Stolt, are you here?
Sorry.
He was in the meeting earlier, but then he was going to come back in. We maybe need to call him in, Harriet.
Yeah, I'll just double check. He definitely was in the meeting earlier, but he seems to have dropped out. What I will do is I will just get his number and dial him in, Chair.
Yeah, thank you.
Harriet, there's somebody looking to come into the lobby. Would that be Mr. Stolt?
Let's have a look. Nope, that is the other applicant. I'll just call Mr. Stolt in just now.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
It's just calling.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Stolt? Mr. Stolt?
Yes, hello.
Hi, Mr. Stolt. Your hearing's due to be called just now, so I've just invited you back into the meeting of the Licensing Board. Okie dokie.
Okay, so welcome, Mr. Stolt. So please note that the board meeting will be recorded and published online for public viewing after the meeting. So we can confirm that you're present in the meeting, so done that. Mr. Stolt, are you satisfied that you've received all the relevant information and feel able to participate in the determination of the application?
Satisfied. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And can I also confirm that Lisa Godini, the LSO, is present?
Yes, I'm present, thank you.
Thank you. And are you satisfied that you've received all the relevant information and feel able to participate in the determination of the application?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, because you've just joined the meeting, in line with the guidance you've received in the public participant meeting protocol for licensing board hearings, please can you mute your microphone when not speaking? If your phone permits this, please do not speak unless I invite you to do so, and please do not interrupt the other speakers. If you do, you may be removed from the meeting. Once you've been asked to make concluding remarks, you're not entitled to speak again unless to answer a question from a board member. Once the board has made its decision, you will be asked to leave the meeting. If the board requires to adjourn to deliberate the application, the recording of the meeting will be paused and the board will retire to a separate online meeting room. Please wait in the main meeting room until the board members return and I can resume the meeting. At that point, the recording of the meeting will be restarted. So I will now ask the Deputy Clerk to confirm the procedure for the hearing. Fiona, please.
Thank you, Chair. This report relates to a further 11 applications for occasional licences lodged by Mr. Stolt. The convener has instructed officers to bring these applications back to the board for consideration in the absence of an application for a premises licence being lodged by the applicant. The history of the previous applications is as set out in section 3.17 of the report before you. The applicant was last before the board in February of this year and no application for a premises licence has been lodged to date. The applicant has submitted late written submissions which the convener has allowed, and these form Appendix 6 to the report, and the procedure is as set out in Appendix 7. To hear from the applicant, to hear from the LSO, the applicant will be given an opportunity to respond to what the LSO has said, an opportunity for board members then to ask both parties questions, concluding remarks in reverse order, starting with the LSO and finishing with the applicant, and then the board moves to the decision. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Fiona. So first of all, I'll ask the applicant, Christian Stolt, to outline the terms of his applications to the board, and you may wish to address the concerns raised in the representation at this time, although you will get a further opportunity to address the board after other parties have spoken. So, Mr. Stolt, over to you to discuss your occasional licence applications.
Yeah, thank you, Licensing Board. So first of all, I would like to thank Mr. Peter Mason from the Planning Department for having sent me in March this year a very detailed comments and points raised. So he put a lot of work into that. So appreciate that. I tried to contact him in the meantime, haven't been able to speak with him last week, but I will keep doing that. So Mr. Mason sent me a report on his concerns or points about the change of use. So the building, give you a little bit of history. So my premises are in the Kincausey steading in an old steading farmhouse. The farm animals were there probably before, and some machinery in Kincausey estate. So have taken over rooms also from Straightway, who have been working there for 20 years as a charity, helping ex-offenders and recovering drug addicts. So they had a stored gardening equipment and were working out of there. So it's kind of I'm replacing them.
So, Mr. Stolt, can I just interrupt you there? What we need to find out is the application why you require occasional licenses.
Absolutely, yes. So I do require occasional licenses because there was a request from the council to for me to apply for premises license. In order to do that, I've tried that about 9 months ago, and I was advised that I require a change of use of the building because it has been agricultural use and not hadn't been designated as production for cider facility. So that's why I have kicked off the application for the premises license. I have put in documents concerning the change of use I've received some pre-planning advice from Mr. Mason, who has answered in March, and I have a few days ago, a week ago, I have sent in addressed all the points that were raised. How much time would you like me to spend on the planning application? That probably is not much of a concern directly to the licensing board, I assume.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Right. I just wanted to maybe can I spend 2 minutes on summarizing that? Is that okay?
Yes, if you just summarize.
Yes, I will just keep it very brief here. So the points raised by Mr. Mason was concerning the green belt, traffic added, road access, loading, parking, connectivity, waste, and noise, and other issues, of course, that are associated with production. And the document is attached to this meeting. I just want to highlight a few points here. So the building that I'm occupying nothing has changed to the structure of the building. There's no window, no wall, nothing has changed. The only waste that is being produced is basically apple juice and runoff water. There's very little noise generated that you can't hear that's outside the premises. The additional traffic that I calculated is probably less than between 2 and 3%. There's a lot of farm traffic in there as already estate traffic and so on. So I'm waiting back to hear back from Mr. Mason concerning my addressing his concerns about the green belt. So there really is there's very little minimal traffic impact or environmental impact. I'm basically replacing a gardening company that has been there for many years. Also, one of the things why I'm basically a one-man band at the moment. I would like to hire people helping me with pressing apples and processing the cider. So I would like to provide some employment. I also just quickly mentioning, I have been received a Pioneer Award by the Council's financial support by the Gateway. I've been sent on a trip together with others to Devon, and it was a tourism provenance festival support a trip there where we were looking around and seeing how others do what Aberdeenshire and Aberdeen City wants to do. So I've been very grateful for that support, and I would like to make this a successful company. And so we have won national and international awards also with our ciders, which is mainly due, of course, because we're processing apples from the Scottish Castle Gardens. We're producing a new Scottish celebration drink. And the quality of this drink is also tied to the premises, because the old steading, the yeast that is present in the steading, and I have put some supporting scientific papers into the document, is influencing the flavor greatly. So while I understand that the general idea of a green belt from a council point of view is moving production into industrial units, that would really take away the tourism character. I have had lots of visitors before the council restricted that. I was a member of the Providence Festival. There were lots of people who enjoyed looking at the riddling message, I'm doing champagne method cider. So that would all disappear if I had to move to an industrial building. So in summary, we are doing the company. The impact of my small one-man band is really minimal on traffic, on the building. There's no impact. I'm replacing another company that has been there for many years, and that I hope Mr. Mason will look positive towards granting my application for planning.
Okay, thank you. That's obviously an issue which has to go through the full planning process.
Yes, I understand that. Yeah.
And congratulations on your success with the business.
Thank you.
But obviously you need to trade from a business with a premises license to continue.
Absolutely. Yes, I understand that.
So thank you. I'm now going to go to Lisa Gadini, the LSO, to speak to her representation.
Thank you very much. So the LSO representation is in relation to 11 occasional licence applications. The first one taking effect from today, if granted, with the 11th running until the 24th of November 2025. As previously highlighted, the applicant has been applying for occasional licences for their business since March 2022, with the first granted from 24th of April 2022. There has been over 70 granted occasional licences, with the latest taking effect from until the 23rd of June. Similar occasional licence applications for the same premises were heard at the Aberdeenshire Licensing Boards held in February, April and August 2024, as well as February 2025. It was the decision of the board at the meeting in February 2025 that no further applications would be granted under delegated authority, and any further applications should be heard at this board meeting in order to discuss with the applicant how they were progressing with the premises licence application, with the main issue being the requirement of applying for a change of use with planning for the premises. As just discussed by the applicant a few minutes ago, and my understanding from information provided to me by the applicant at the end of last week, is that a pre-planning application inquiry has been submitted and further evidence was requested by the planning team in March 2025 in order to respond to the inquiry fully. The applicant has now provided further information as requested on the 18th of June 2025. My understanding from the emails I was party to are that it is an inquiry and the applicant has not yet submitted an application to change the use of the premises from agricultural to Class 4 business use. Until planning permission has been granted, I believe that the applicant will not be able to obtain a Section 50 certificate, which is required to submit either a provisional premises licence application or a full premises licence application. At the meeting held on the 28th of February 2024, the Licensing Board attached an additional condition to the granted occasional licences where there were no tours of the premises and customers could only collect alcohol orders. This condition was also attached to any subsequent licenses and again is in my representation today. However, this condition may be reconsidered depending on the information given to the licensing board from the applicant on the suitability of the premises being used for tours. You will also notice that my representation also includes copies of the layout plan for the premises. This information was requested by myself during the consultation process, as the layout plan was not included with the applications that were submitted on the 4th of June 2025. This layout plan has been updated and is different to the layout plan that has been submitted previously. Should the licensing board be minded to grant these applications, then in my representation, I have recommended conditions to apply to the granted licenses. These are from the pool of local conditions set out by yourselves in addition to Schedule 4, which are attached to all granted occasional licenses. All the conditions are the same conditions that have been recommended previously and have been have been agreed by the applicant. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now back to you, Mr. Stolt, to see if you have anything you wish to add, having heard the submissions from the Licensing Standards Officer.
What I forgot to say is I have an architect has been out looking at the premises in the meantime. I have spoken with a planning contractor who advised me on the traffic plans, and also an engineering company had looked at the visibility displays. I have a quotation for putting in a toilet by a contractor. So the moment I receive the go-ahead from Mr. Mason, further advice, then I can go ahead and do what is requested.
I think you need to understand that Mr. Mason, that you've spoken to in terms of your planning inquiry, won't be giving you the go-ahead. You'll need to apply. You need to actually put in an application for a change of use, and then that will be determined. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So my wording wasn't really correct. Yes, absolutely right. So I have only requested advice, pre-planning advice, and I've responded to that last week. And then, according to the outcome of that, I will put in a planning application, or alternatively, a letter of lawfulness, one of the two.
Okay, thank you. I'll go to board members. Have you questions for either party? Mr. Menard, please.
Yeah, it's just a question for the applicant. Why the time lag, sir? How long is a piece of string? You got a response back in March and you've only just responded back. This just seems to be an awful... If you're so keen to get moving forward, I just can't understand your timelines and how they work. I know you're a one-man band, but if you could give me some reasons why you've not actually gone forward and progressed further than what you have.
There are quite a few things to consider. If I have to move, if I will have to move premises, that would be. I really would like to avoid. I would like to keep operating from where I am for the reasons outlined. The tourism and also the yeast and other things. So it is, for me, it is quite a complex. You may deal with this every day. For me, it is quite complex subject to understand the implications of the green belt laws, the implications of different displays, what could be done to improve displays. It's an old property. A lot of things would need to be done to improve that, evaluate the traffic. So it's quite a lot of things that I had to look into. So I think,
Mr. Stoll, I'm going to bring in the Deputy Clerk, please, Fiona.
Thank you. Everything that the applicant has said today relates to planning matters. We as a board are considering why the continual trading on occasional licenses that's been taking place for almost 3 years. So the applicant has had 3 years in which to progress to a full premises licence, and the question put by Mr. Maynard is directly related to that. What is taking the time? Why has there been a delay? The applicant wants the business to be successful. For that, he needs to be trading on a premises licence, and I'm not sure the applicant fully appreciates that this is a serious matter, and a premises license is absolutely essential here. So Mr. Maynard is quite right in querying the timeline, but it shouldn't have taken 3 years for the applicant to get pre-planning advice, to get a change of use to apply for a premises license. So that is what Mr. Maynard is seeking from the applicant here, and I'm not sure that the applicant is fully understanding the requirements of the board here.
Mr. Stolt?
Yeah. Yeah. So the request for change of use to get a premises license, it was not raised 3 years ago, right? But I understand that I may not have moved as quickly as you wanted me to move, but that's not. I haven't had 3 years to do that. Yeah, I think it's 12 months now since this issue was raised, or 8 months or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, we can look back, but I'm pretty sure that would have been raised initially.
Can I come back in there? It was pointed out by the board when the occasionals broke the terms of the board's occasional license repeat policy. So I'm getting my words around the wrong way there. Repeated occasional license policy. It's not for the board to point out to the applicant what permissions and consents are required. As an applicant, it's his responsibility to investigate what permissions and licenses are required to operate a successful business, and that should have been done before the applicant started operating. It's not the board's responsibility to advise the applicant of what permissions are required. The board has done so as part of its investigations into why the applicant is continually making occasional license applications. So it's not for the board to give the applicant that kind of advice.
Fair enough. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's quite clear. Any other questions from members? Mr. Crowson, please.
Thanks, Chair. It's just to further the discussion of the point that's been made with Mr. Stolt. It does say quite clearly in the licensing objectives, but that occasional licenses should not be used in place of premises licenses, and that they're merely if we see sufficient evidence of moving forward with these licenses. And I think the point of the premises licenses will have more scrutiny over the safety and general health to the public, and that seems to be tying into the things that you want to progress with your business. So unless we can progress forward with these issues, I don't see how you're going to be able to progress with the other things that you want to proceed with your business. So perhaps you maybe want to add a bit more onto what you are, how far on ahead you are going to do and how quickly you're going to move forward with this application and the issues that you've raised.
That's a question for the applicant, Mr. Stolt.
Right. Okay, I understand. So I think I have shown that I have contacted several different branches to help me getting this over the line, and so I'm ready to move with the putting in a planning application in the next 2 weeks if whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not whatever. So I will. I've tried to contact Mr. Mason over the last few days. Haven't been able to do that. So once I have succeeded, my next step will be I have everything lined up to move with applying for planning permission.
Okay, thank you. I think Mr. Maynard was actually referring as well to the delay. You made a planning inquiry in March, which came back with points for you to attend to.
Yeah.
And you've only done that now in June. So there's a bit of a gap there between March and June, where perhaps you could have been further on.
Right. So the June that is a summary. That is all the findings that I have gotten over the last 3 months. This just has not happened in the last week. Of course, I have, as you can see, that's a 6 or 7 page response from my side addressing all the concerns that Mr. Mason has raised.
Okay, thank you. Are you wanting to come in again, Fiona, or can I go to Miss Sullivan?
No, you can move on, Chair. It's fine.
Okay, your hand's still up. That was Miss Sullivan, please.
I'm just looking at pages 187 and 188 of our papers. We've got a photo of the outside view, and it says that the access is through the arch along the corridor. But then when I look on the next page, it seems that there's the serving hatch for the public, maybe, is on the outside of the building. So I would just appreciate knowing how do the customers get to where they buy things. And there's a tractor in the picture. Is this still like a working farmyard? Thank you.
I think quickly, Mel, in terms of layout, it's obviously a courtyard. So once you're through the arch, you're in the open.
Yes. So there are two access points. One access point is that you can see from the drawing. That's a small door to the storage room, and the other access would be through the gate. That's where the tractors, where my landlord stores tractors and farm equipment. So there are 2 access routes to the cidery.
Can I just double check there, looking at this drawing that's being referred to, that the central bit of the courtyard is actually roofed?
Yes, it is a roofed. Yes. Yeah, the central courtyard is roofed, and there's the corridor that you see in the drawing. That is an open corridor again. So the buildings, the ring of the buildings is roofed. Then there's an open air corridor, and in the center of it is a roofed storage hall for tractor, where the landlord stores tractors.
Okay, do you want
May
to
I
come
come
back,
back,
Miss
Chair?
Sullivan? Yeah.
Yes. Right. So when it has the door or window opening points, there's one on the outside. I take it that's not where customers are served then. Customers are served from the inside. And also, how often do tractors come in and out? Is that a shared way with pedestrians and tractors? Thank you.
So you are referring to the arch. So the arch is a shared entrance, yes. So that is the entrance that the tractors take for parking, and that's also where visitors come in. But most visitors come through the back door, to the side door. That is, I think it's towards the north. You're on the right side of the drawing that I've submitted.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Crowson, please.
Thanks, Chair. Councillor Sullivan went down the route that I was going to go, but I've still got some bits to add on. So, questions for Mr. Stolt. You describe yourself as being a one-man band running your business, but I wonder if you could explain to me how many other people in the other businesses are crossing paths, if you like, when you're carrying out your business. And do you have any signs and guidance as to where people come into your place to buy product, where they should keep to a certain pathway to avoid other traffic and the other businesses that are running at the same time? Do you have any signs up guiding them the direction to go? Exit signs if they have to leave quickly, all that sort of safety things that might be more apparent had we a premises license application in.
Right. So the rooms, two of the rooms I've taken over from the gardening company, and there are exit signs there. Concerning the frequency of the tractors are not moved every day. These are not the farm tractors from the adjacent farm. These are the tractors by the landlord. So he uses them every once in a while to move stuff around. So I would say twice a week there's some movement of the tractors. I don't have any signs or any arrows up directing people this way or the other, because if somebody comes, usually it's prearranged, and we will meet outside. But that all these signs and and all rooms that I'm occupying, they have exit signs over the doors. But
So
there's no flight fire exit arrows in there yet.
So any signs warning people of moving vehicles, any guidance as a path to keep to a certain pathway so that there'll be less chance of them crossing the path of vehicles coming out? I'm starting to get concerns about the safety of these licenses. Never mind the premises license.
Yep, I understand, but so this will be putting signs up of that type that will be part of when I put the planning advice. So then I would need I will ask the architect to advise me on further signs that are required. But it's a good point because it's a mixed use. Yes.
And one more, just to clarify, you said that you would need 2 weeks to put in an application for a premises license. That would be enough time for you.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. And I hope. Sorry, go ahead.
That was your planning application you referred to, Mr. Stolt, not the license application.
Yes, the planning.
Sorry, planning application, but 2 weeks to show some movement.
I think so. Yes.
Right. Thank you.
That depends on the feedback I get back from Mr. Mason on my on the points that I've raised.
Thank you, Mr. Menard, please.
Yes, for the applicant again. You say how can I phrase it in a way? Is your landlord happy with your proposal? Have you sort of proven from him? Because after all, at the end of the day, you're only leasing his property.
Sorry, I'll stop you there. I'm going to bring in the deputy clerk.
I'm sorry, Mr. Maynard, but that line of questioning is not relevant to the applications before us today. Whatever agreement the landlord and the tenant have is a civil matter between them and not for the board.
Thank you, Fiona. I appreciate that. It was just the safety issue, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions?
I'm not allowed to answer that, correct?
Well, it's not relevant, Mr. Stolt, so
yeah.
we can leave it, okay?
Yeah.
Any further questions? No. Okay. In that case, I'll go to the Licensing Standards Officer. Do you wish to say anything in closing, Lisa?
No, nothing at all, thank you.
Okay, and now, Mr. Stolt, if you wish to say anything in closing, but please note not adding any new evidence at this stage.
Yes, I think putting in the planning papers in 2 weeks is a bit optimistic from my side here. So I think I probably need a month to get this in.
Okay, thank you. Do board members require any legal advice from the clerk at this stage? In that case, can I ask the clerk to outline the terms of the legal test for the application?
Thank you, Chair. Just before moving to the legal test, I would remind the board of the terms of the repeated occasional licensing policy. So you should be asking yourselves, are the applications subject to that policy? Has the applicant presented evidence to the board that they are working towards applying for a premises licence? And what is that evidence? What licensing objectives may be relevant? Has the applicant provided an adequate explanation as to why a premises licence has not yet been applied for? And is there anything before the board that would mean granting the applications would be inconsistent with particularly the licensing objectives of securing public safety and protecting and improving public health. So that's the questions you need to be asking in relation to the repeated occasional licence policy. In terms of, and the other thing under that is what scrutiny does it allow you of the premises and the suitability of the premises compared to the scrutiny that you would have under a premises licence application. So the legal test, the grounds of refusal are that the premises to which the applications relate are excluded premises, and I can advise you that they are not. That the premises to which the applications relate must be refused under certain sections of the Act, and again, I can advise you that that ground does not apply. That the Licensing Board considers the granting of the applications would be inconsistent with one or more of the licensing objectives, which would be a relevant ground for the Board to consider. And D, that having regard to the nature of the activities proposed to be carried on in the premises, the location, character and condition of the premises, and the persons likely to frequent the premises, the board considers the premises are unsuitable for use for the sale of alcohol. If you find that any of the grounds of refusal apply, you must refuse the applications. If you find that none of the grounds of refusal apply, you must grant the applications. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Do members wish to retire to deliberate at this point? Ms Sullivan?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay. So in that case, we'll move out into the separate room. Could members of the public attending please stay in this meeting, and we'll come back into this meeting after retiring.